Russia announces martial law for 2023 in fresh wave of mobilization amid faltering attacks. For full news, please visit www.express.co.uk. Ukraine has warned Russians to avoid any mobilization this new year in order to save their lives. The Ukraine Minister of Defense Alexei Reznikov released an online video in which he warned that martial law will be declared, and in early January, closing the Russian border. He warned the Russians that their leadership is preparing for a new wave of mobilization and planning to close the borders within a week. Mr. Reznikov said, "On the eve of New Year, I want to address the citizens of Russia who are liable for military service. First of all, this concerns the residents of big Russian cities. I know for sure that you have about 1 week in which there is at least some choice left. In early January, the Russian authorities will close the border for men, then declare martial law and begin another wave of mobilization. The borders will also be closed in Belarus." He further spoke how the family's festive season will be ruined with the military officers knocking their doors. He said, "Today you are thinking on how to decorate your festive table and are making plans for the future. But under the chiming clock, you may not hear a knock on the door. It will be the military officer knocking. This will be especially true in cities, because they already drafted a lot of men in the Russian outback. It is unlikely that your leaders will say this in their New Year addresses. So listen carefully to what I am about to tell you. I do not ask you to trust my words." The defense minister further ridiculed Russia and the special military operation it carried out in Ukraine. He said, 10 months ago, your leadership and propagandists on TV said that certain goals of the so-called special military operation exists, and that everything goes as planned. But now they are keeping quiet about it, because they will have to admit one of the two following things. First, according to their own plan, for the first time in 100 years, a flagship of the Russian fleet was destroyed. Long-range aircraft explode at the airfields deep inside Russian territory. Irrevocable losses of the Russian army are over 100,000 people. To make up for these losses, one wave of mobilization has already been carried out, although in summer they categorically denied that it would take place, and then deceived you. According to this very plan, tens of thousands of convicts are recruited in jails to a private military company. The owner of this company is allowed to wipe his feet on regular Russian military servicemen. Meanwhile, ordinary people get thrown to jail for discrediting the army.